Johnson. It's the National League Division Series on FS1 presented by Doosan. Game 2, Milwaukee Brewers, Colorado Rockies. And a good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kenny Albert, joined by a couple of World Series champions, David Cone and A.J. Brzezinski. It took extra innings yesterday, but the Brewers pulled it out 3-2-10 on a walk-off base hit off the bat of another former World Series champion, Mike Moustakas. Game 2 is moments away. A.J. Colorado, 2 runs once again yesterday for the 3rd consecutive game. They score exactly 2 runs, and the Rockies over the first 8 innings in Game 1 here in Milwaukee with only 1 base hit.
Well, if the Rockies are going to win this series and even get into this series, they need to hit. And it starts with the middle of their lineup. Guys we know, Arenado, LeMahieu, Dahl, Trevor Story. These guys yesterday, 0 for 14 with 8 punch-outs. They cannot win this series or compete in this series. These 4 guys especially do not hit. They need to hit balls off the wall. And what did Buddy Black do? He changed the lineup. He moved Carlos Gonzalez up from 6th to 4th. And Geraldo Parra, who has had the most consistent at-bats for the Rockies, he's in the 6th hole starting for David Dahl. So Bud Black sees it. He's trying to make adjustments. We'll see if it works, but these guys got to hit.
So the Rockies will try and get it done today, David, against the Milwaukee Brewers squad that has won 9 consecutive games, an opportunity to take a commanding 2-0 lead before heading to Denver.
Yeah, and it's an important thing to be able to protect your home field advantage. I agree with Alex Rodriguez. If Milwaukee loses this game, Colorado's going to be thrilled with a split and go home with their 2 best starters ready to go in the Mile High City. So without a doubt, it's time for them to put the pedal on the gas and go after this game here. And Chacin on the mound, as you see, came through with a clutch performance at Wrigley Field. He's been tested. He's on short rest. And it's going to be interesting to see how long he can go in this game for Craig Counsell.
A career-high 15 wins for the former Colorado Rocky, who will take the mound for the Brewers. Early lead for Milwaukee yesterday. Rockies tied it in the 9th, and then Moustakas, the hero, in the bottom of the 10th inning to win Game 1 for Milwaukee in this National League Division Series. Game 2 on FS1, moments away. Back in Milwaukee, it's Game 2, National League Division Series following the Brewers' 3-2 win yesterday in extra innings. So Bud Black's Colorado Rockies will look to tie the series before heading home. Back-to-back postseasons for the Rockies for the first time in franchise history. They won 91 games during the regular season, franchise record 44 on the road. Charlie Blackmon will lead off. Then LeMahieu, Arenado, Gonzalez moves up to the cleanup spot. He hit 6th yesterday. Then Story, Parra in the starting lineup today. Desmond, Iannetta, and Anderson as the Rockies get set to face the 30-year-old right-hander, Jhoulys Chacin. You heard the guys talk about it on the pregame show, working on short rest for the first time in his career. This was Monday at Wrigley. Game 163, the division tiebreaker. He went 5 2/3, allowed only 1 hit and 1 earned run. He threw 75 pitches. He has not thrown more than 79 in any of his last 5 starts.
The scouting report on Jhoulys Chacin, a guy that I caught in 2016 with the Atlanta Braves, career year. Pretty much across the board, he has career numbers. He jumps at hitter, which is a little funky, gives him some deception, makes the ball look harder, and gives the hitter something different to look at. And when in doubt, you'll see Jhoulys Chacin throw a slider. He loves the slider. It's his out pitch. You'll see it any count, anytime. So if you're a Rocky hitter, better be able to hit a slider.
Chacin led all of baseball with 35 starts this season. Career high 15 wins, career high 156 strikeouts. Facing Charlie Blackmon leading off Game 2 for the Colorado Rockies. Blackmon is 0 for 9 lifetime against Chacin. He was 1 for 4 in yesterday's Game 1. The 1-0 to Blackmon, in for a called strike. Kerwin Danley, our home plate umpire, with LeMahieu waiting on deck, just underway in Milwaukee Game 2.
And Craig Counsell told us before the game about 80 pitches he was looking for. As much as he could get out of that quantity.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Chassin spent 10 years in the Colorado Rockies organization, 6 with the big league club. Released just prior to the 2015 season by Colorado. The Brewers are his 5th team since the release, including some time, AJ, as you mentioned, with you in Atlanta. Kerwin Danley behind the plate. Crew chief Ted Barrett at first base. Mike Malinsky worked the plate in yesterday's game. 6 umpires in the postseason. 1-2 from Chassin. Another foul off to the left side.
And Kerwin Danley behind home plate is graded out as more of a pitcher's umpire. Calls more strikes, more of the borderline pitches tend to go the pitcher's way.
That's funny you say that, because I remember Kerwin Danley behind the plate. He was a hitter in college. He played with Tony Gwynn at San Diego State down there, and he was a hitter's umpire when I first came up. And this guy had the tightest zone ever because he was a hitter. And maybe somebody got to him and changed his mind into more of a pitcher's umpire.
6th pitch of the at bat. Hitting against the shift. Blackman grounds out. One away. For coverage of today's game in Spanish, please tune in to Fox Deportes.
So that was a ground ball to Moustakas, who's on the other side of second base. Do I write 5-3, even though he's kind of playing the shortstop position? It's still a 5-3?
You do.
That helps his range factor, right? All the way across the diamond?
Perhaps a 4 in parentheses, since he was at the second base position. So one away. Here's DJ LeMahieu. 0 for 3 in yesterday's game, and 4 for 10 lifetime against Chassin.
One thing you mentioned, David, is Chassin throwing on 3 days rest. Well, I don't think you can understate that fact. He's never done it before at any level, big leagues, minor leagues, any level. So yeah, he's on a low pitch count. Yeah, he's pitched low in his last starts, but this is a big deal.
You know, generally speaking from experience, you're okay with the adrenaline in the early innings, but you will fatigue quicker. And that's why I think Craig Counsell said before the game, you know, he's looking for 80 pitches or so.
Over the glove of Chassin. Out at first is LeMahieu. What a play by the second baseman, Travis Shaw.
Travis Shaw, not known for his defense, especially at second base. He's known as a guy that hits the ball at the park, but beautiful barehanded play, and then Nelson Aguilar at first base picking him up, or Jesus Aguilar, excuse me. But wow, what a play from Travis Shaw at second base.
That's the only way he gets him. As you see, Chassin loves it. Thank you.
And a quick out. Keep the pitch count down. Quick outs. He's looking for quick outs.
Nine pitches so far, 2 away. Here's Nolan Arenado. 0 for 3 in game 1. Drove in a run in the 9th inning on a sacrifice fly. Leading home run hitter in the National League during the regular season with 38. Arenado falls behind, 0-2.
All in the vogue right there, the shift. 3 guys on one side of the infield. Every team does it. Doesn't matter anymore, right or lefties. Right-handed hitter, left-handed hitter. Every team shifts.
That's the biggest change this year, is the shift on right-handed batters.
The 0-2 from Chassin. Arenado with a base hit into right field. Rockies did not pick up their first base hit yesterday until a Carlos Gonzalez triple in the 5th inning. Arenado with a 2-out single here in the 1st in game 2.
In the open, we talked about these, especially Nelson Arenado struggling. Well, Nolan Arenado He hits this ball exactly how it's pitched. Leans out over the plate, a fastball down in the count 0-2, and just takes what the pitcher gives him, which is a base hit to right. Sometimes that'll get you going.
Yeah, in the age of the launch angle, and everybody thinks the narrative of everybody trying to go deep, not with Arenado there, as you see. Well pointed out, AJ. Shoots it to right with 2 strikes.
Here's Carlos Gonzalez facing his close friend. He and Chacín grew up in the same hometown in Venezuela. They were teammates with the Rockies. Their families are very close. Gonzalez batting cleanup today for the Rockies. He hit 6th in yesterday's game, 1 for 4 with that 5th inning triple. Only hit for Colorado over the first 8 innings. Arenado with a 2-out single. He's the runner on first. Top of the first inning in Milwaukee.
Who's your best friend pitcher that you ever faced, AJ?
Oh. Well, when I first came up, it was Brad Radke because I came up with the Twins, and then it became Mark Burley once he left the White Sox, and I faced him in Toronto, and it was just weird. It's different. You become friends with these guys, and then you face them, and man, you want to get a hit so bad, but then you want your team to beat the guy, but then you feel bad. You're like, you're taking money out of this guy's pocket and hurting him and his family. It's tough. It's a delicate balance because you want to win and you want bragging rights, but you also don't want to hurt the other guy.
Gonzalez draws a walk against his good friend Chacín. So after retiring the first 2 Rockies, runners on first and second for Trevor Story.
He could have saved some pitches there and just drilled him with the first one.
Yeah, but they're friends. Jim Thome told me a story. The recently Hall of Famer Jim told me that he was facing Cormier for the Phillies, and they were really good friends. And Cormier hit him, and he charged the mound because he knew he had to charge the mound. And then they went to dinner after the game, and Cormier was like, "It's okay, I understand. You had to charge the mound." I think that's who it was. And then after the game, they met and had dinner. And speaking of Burley, I faced Burley for the first time in Toronto. I was with Texas. He was with Toronto. I didn't play, so during the game, he's pitching, calling me names, saying I was scared to face him from the mound while I was in the dugout.
Trevor Story 0 for 4, struck out 3 times yesterday. At the plate with runners on first and second and 2 outs, top of the first inning.
This is a big at bat right here, not only for the Rockies in general, but Trevor Story. He struggled 0 for 4, 3 punchies. Had some bad at bats late in the game in big situations. Here's his chance, redeem himself, get on the board early, give the Rockies some confidence in this game.
Yeah, try to control the strike zone. Good hitters get a good pitch to hit, and we've seen, even though the Rockies collectively, they swing the bat. They're not afraid to swing early in the count. Among the league leaders just in overall swing percentage, but still have to try to control the strike zone.
The 1-0 from Chacín. Story 37 home runs during the regular season, including 7 against Milwaukee pitching.
The Rockies would like nothing more than one right here. Put them up 3-0. Bud Black would probably do cartwheels in the dugout if he hits a home run right here and gives them the lead. But Story had a tough at bat yesterday off Jeffers in the 9th. Swung at some bad pitches. Like Coney said, get him in the strike zone, slow everything down, and get a good pitch to do some damage with.
The 2-0 in for a called strike. Now 2-1. Story's numbers against the Brewers: drove in 18 runs, 7 home runs, but a game he would like to forget yesterday in the series opener.
Well, you got the benefit of a call on the 2-0 slider on the inside corner, and this one's a good one, straight down.
Pitch number 22 of the inning from Chacin is drilled foul down the left field line.
Another point about these at-bats the Rockies are having is 22 pitches. Chacin's on a limited pitch count because of short rest, and the Brewers blew their bullpen out to get in the game yesterday. Hader 2 innings. Knebel, Jeffers had an extended outing. Woodruff is out because of 3 innings. Burns is questionable whether he can pitch today. So these long at-bats, not only do they help this inning, they help in the long run of this game.
First career postseason appearance for Chacin, looking to get out of the first inning. 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 to Story. Just missed.
Well, you know, it's 50-50. It's going to be a slider, and you see that's the thing with Chacin. Sometimes it sweeps away, sometimes it kind of backs up and goes straight down. More a byproduct of his mechanics. Kind of flies open, gets right on top of it, and spins it as quickly as he can.
Payoff pitch. Story strikes out to end the inning. A 24-pitch first. The Rockies strand 2. Tyler Anderson getting set to make his first career postseason start. He will face Kane, Yelich, and Braun. Then Aguilar, Moustakas, Perez, Shaw, Kratz, and Chacin. .32 starts during the regular season, record of 7-9. His 3rd season in the big leagues out of the University of Oregon. First round pick by the Rockies back in 2011. He was brilliant in his last start in game 162 Sunday against the Nationals. Did not allow a run in 7 2/3 innings. Lorenzo Cain takes a called strike. 0-1.
And his forte obviously is not power. Anderson, you see a deceptive delivery, a little bit of a hesitation with his leg kick. Good changeup. Relies on soft contact, staying off the barrel.
Fly ball pitcher. Allowed the most home runs in the National League this season, tied with Chase Anderson of the Brewers. Allowed 30.
You mentioned, Kenny, that it's a first-round draft pick. He's actually a 50th round pick out of high school.
So you're saying he made the right decision to
That's
go to Oregon?
Pretty good call. Let me see. You know, Minnesota Twins drafted him in the 50th round in 08.
Moved up 49 rounds in 3 years, and he strikes out Kane. So with 1 away, he will face Christian Yelich. Back on August 4th, his last start against the Brewers, Anderson allowed 6 runs in the first inning. A grand slam off the bat of Travis Shaw. Hernan Perez with a solo homer, and then Ryan Braun went deep in the 3rd. He lasted only 4 innings in that start. 7 earned runs, 6 in inning number 1.
Now, the old school thinking would be like, man, we don't want to start him in Milwaukee because of bad memories. The new school thinking is that doesn't matter because he's due for a good one in Milwaukee. So Rockies went with the new school and said, hey, it doesn't matter. He pitched poorly here. Let's run him out there. We have confidence in him.
Facing Yelich, who reached base 4 times yesterday, 2 for 3. 2-run homer in the 3rd inning to give the Brewers a 2-0 lead. Christian Yelich, the first Brewer in history to win a batting title, fell 2 home runs and 1 RBI short of the Triple Crown in the National League this season. One away, bottom of the first inning. Ryan Braun waiting on deck.
Tony, does the Triple Crown matter? It matters to me as the next player and the next hitter. I know people are trying to undervalue the fact that Yelich could have won the Triple Crown, and that's an amazing accomplishment. I don't care if that's not the 3 stats people look at anymore.
Towering fly ball to right field. Gonzalez settles under it. 2 out.
If I were a hitter, I wouldn't mind having a Triple Crown on my resume. So yes, there's nothing wrong with the, historically speaking, Triple Crowns. You see, there's the circle change grip. Pretty good rotation on that too. That's the effective part of a changeup. It's almost got a fastball type spin on it. You really, tighter you can spin that changeup, the better off you are. And got Yelich out in front. But I think there's different metrics to look at now. If you peel back the layers a little bit, there's ways to give credit where credit is due, and in new numbers, but there's nothing wrong with the Triple Crown. There's nothing wrong with batting average, RBIs. I just think there are more things to look at and better things to use to give credit where credit is due.
Speaking of numbers, how about Ryan Braun's career numbers against Tyler Anderson? 5 for 8, 3 home runs.
It's ownage. That's pure ownage. 5 for 8, 3 home runs. I think he sees Anderson pretty well.
Base is empty, 2 outs. The 0-1 to Braun. Fastball missing high, 1-1.
See, I like that pitch to Braun from Anderson. Why? He knows those numbers. He knows he's 5 for 8 with 3 homers. Well, I'm going to show him I'm not afraid. I'm going to come in. I'm going to bury him inside, move his feet, move his head, just to let him know, hey, I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to come in and show you this.
Very unique delivery. Most hitters will try to look at a pitcher in a scouting report and say, well, he's kind of like this guy. He throws sort of like this guy. And Anderson's very unique from the start to the finish.
2-2. Three home runs hit by Braun, the most allowed by Tyler Anderson against any major league batter. Two hits yesterday for Braun. He is now the Brewers' all-time postseason hits leader. He broke a 3-way tie with Robin Yount and Paul Molitor. Not bad company.
Two of the first names you think of when the minute you walk into Milwaukee. Talk about baseball.
The 2-2 from Anderson. This time Anderson wins the battle. Braun strikes out to end the inning. A 1-2-3 first for Tyler Anderson. The 2018 MLB postseason continues tonight. Yankees and Red Sox get underway on TBS. Then we are back here on FS1. Game 2 of the NLDS between the Braves and the Dodgers, with LA leading the series. Sanchez and Kershaw, the pitching matchup in Los Angeles. Here in Milwaukee, Gerardo Parra leads off for the Rockies in the top of the second inning. Takes ball one from Chacin, who threw 24 pitches in the first. 2 base runners for the Rockies on a single and a walk. Parra not in the starting lineup for the Rockies yesterday. Entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning and started the game-tying rally with a leadoff single. Came around to score the first Colorado run. Former Brewer for parts of 2 seasons.
And he has had the absolute best at bats.
Grounds out to Perez for out number 1. So with one away, here's Ian Desmond, the Rockies' first baseman. 0 for 4 in game 1.
So tough on managers trying to make lineup changes. I still, personally, AJ, I was surprised that Dahl's on the bench because of his power. One swing of the bat, even though he's 1 for 21. He could be a game changer with one swing. But you can understand from Buddy Black's perspective, you know, they've struggled really, as he said, for the last 3 weeks. They've had trouble generating any offense. And felt the need to mix it up here.
Moving Gonzalez to the cleanup spot. And then the change from Dahl to Parra.
Buddy Black told us, though, he doesn't have a lot of pieces he can interchange. You can't change him. You can't do what Joe Madden does. He doesn't have the versatility that a lot of these teams have where, hey, we can take one guy and hit him lead off and then hit him 7th the next day. He's pretty much locked into what they've done. These guys are mostly veteran guys that have hit their whole career, so he's not giving up on them. He thought some changes were needed today. That's why Parra and Cargo, but deep down, I still don't think he wanted to make the changes he did, but he knew for the good of the club he had to.
And he referenced the 2008 Phillies. He said their guys played every day. We are built the same way, and our guys just love to play. 2-1 to Desmond. In for strike 2. Right field. Coming in is Yelich. 2 out. Here's Chris Iannetta. He was 0 for 2 in yesterday's game, just 1 for 20 in his postseason career. Rockies catcher batting in the 8-hole. Only 8 pitches so far this inning. That's number 9 from Chassin. Pitching on 3 days rest. Iannetta pops it up to the right side. Aguilar back behind first. A 10-pitch, 1-2-3 second inning for Chassin. Every time you tweet using hashtag HR4HR this postseason, T-Mobile will donate another $1 to hurricane recovery. Jesus Aguilar leads off for the Brewers here in the bottom of the second inning against Tyler Anderson, who retired Milwaukee in order on 12 pitches in the first. Aguilar 0 for 3 in game 1. Moved up 1 spot to the cleanup position today for manager Craig Counsell. Travis Shaw, the cleanup hitter yesterday, in the 7th spot of the order today. Aguilar, tremendous regular season, an all-star for the first time. Strikes out on 3 pitches, 1 away. So 4 up, 4 down for Tyler Anderson, and for more on the Rockies starter, we welcome in JP Morosi. JP.
Well, Kenny, here is a story from Tyler Anderson's hometown of Las Vegas. The writer Ron Kantowski of the Las Vegas Review-Journal saying that Tyler Anderson is named after former MLB player Tyler Houston, who played for the Brewers and was a legendary high school player in Las Vegas, almost Bryce Harper before Harper came around. In fact, the generation before, and apparently Anderson's father had watched Tyler Houston playing baseball in Vegas and was inspired, named his son Tyler, and of course it was across the parking lot at Old County Stadium, Tyler Houston, a 3-homer game on July 9th, 2000.
All right, thanks, JP. And now Tyler Anderson hoping to work some magic here in Milwaukee. Facing Mike Moustakas, who drove in the game-winning run yesterday. So we take you back now to July of 2000. The 3-home run game. Tyler Houston against the Milwaukee Brewers for the Detroit Tigers. Against Detroit. And now Moustakas shoots this one into center field. Blackman has it 2 away.
Interesting you'd be named after a guy because of his high school resume. Most of the time they wait till they get to the major leagues, and I'm sure in Anaheim you'll see a lot of Mikes because of Mike Trout. Washington you'll see a lot of Bryces because of Bryce Harper, but very rare to be named after a guy because of his high school credentials.
Well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right?
Apparently not.
Any kids who watched you in high school named AJ?
No, absolutely not.
There's Hernan Perez. And the starting lineup today. Oh for 2 off the bench in yesterday's game. Gonzalez moving to his left. An 8-pitch second inning. Anderson has retired the first 6 Brewers he's faced. To the NLDS on FS1, presented by Doosan. Top of the 3rd inning as Tyler Anderson leads off against Chassin, who retired the Rockies in order in the 2nd inning. Anderson during the regular season 5 hits in 50 at bats. Now back to the screen, 1-1.
Tyler Anderson taking notes. What's he doing, Coney?
He's writing with the wrong hand. He throws left-handed. He's writing right-handed. It's pretty impressive.
What's he writing down? Like what hitters did, what he threw hitters? I've seen hitters do that when they face pitchers. I've never seen a pitcher do that during a game, though.
Probably just keeping notes about how he got certain hitters out. You know, you mentioned some of the problems he's had, and then we showed the video, Kenny, earlier in his first inning blues in his start in August here. He looks sharp so far, though, does Anderson.
Sure does.
Really established kind of a high fastball inside, as AJ pointed out. The cutter in really got their attention and set up his changeup away.
Payoff pitch from Chassin. Anderson gets the bat on another one. Running up the pitch count. That's now 41 pitches thrown by Chassin in 2+ innings.
Quality at bat for a pitcher.
Interesting thing about that. Eric Kratz, the catcher, called slider. So does Chassin really?
8th pitch of the at-bat is ball 4. So the pitcher, Tyler Anderson, draws a leadoff walk. And for more on what Anderson was jotting down in the dugout, down to JP.
Well, Kenny, Jamie Walton, the director of baseball operations at the University of Oregon, where Anderson pitched, tells me that he was so meticulous about his work in college that if he ever made a mistake during a game, he would stay there at the stadium visualizing and getting things right before he would go home. So very meticulous about his craft.
And as David pointed out, writing with his right hand. So the left-hander Anderson, at least on the mound, on at first base, with Blackman at the plate. Grounded out to third his first time up.
Anderson kind of showed the way there. That's the type of at-bat you need off of Chassin. You got to make him get the ball in the strike zone kind of 50-50 fastballs and sliders. You know he's on a pitch count.
I just thought it was interesting. Eric Kratz kept trying to get him to throw a pitcher, a 3-2 slider, and he kept shaking to the fastball. So Kratz knows he has better control over his slider than his fastball.
Blackman with a drive to right. Yelich on the run, makes the catch at the edge of the warning track for out number 1.
Well, you are right, AJ. Another slider gets it in the zone, and this one's spinning and trying to get in and just missed by Blackman. Looked like a little bit off the end of the bat, but in his wheelhouse. You want the slider down, not there. Blackman took a good swing at it and just missed it.
So with one away, here's LeMahieu, who grounded out to the second baseman Shaw, who made a terrific play back in the first inning. Tyler Anderson, the runner on first, 1 out. StatCast AI powered by Amazon Web Services. Highest slider usage in all of baseball. Chacin during the regular season. Nearly 45% of his total pitches. Base hit it to left field. Off the bat of LeMahieu, moving Anderson over to second. So the Rockies threatening here in the third inning with only 1 out.
You're going to throw that many sliders in a game. Hitters start to know this, and another slider to LeMahieu. You better locate them because hitters will eventually figure it out. And if you're one or the other, they better be well-located sliders because if you hang them, you've seen in the first 3 innings, the Rockies have just missed a couple. They've had a couple threats. This is their second threat now in 3 innings. So Chacin better figure out a way to locate him or someone's going to run into one and do some serious damage here quickly.
His inability to get his fastball anywhere near the zone so far.
First pitch to Arenado. Fouled off to the right side. He singled his first time up.
That foul ball right there is caused by knowing Chacin throws a lot of sliders, and he goes up there and gets a first pitch heater, which Arenado is almost always ready for, and he's late. He fouled it into the Brewers dugout because he probably was looking for slide. If I was hitting off Chacin, I'd be looking slider, especially in a big situation here. He's going to throw you a slider at some point.
2 on, 1 out. Time called by the home plate umpire Kerwin Danley. David, you mentioned Danley was a teammate of Tony Gwynn at San Diego State. Also on that team, Bud Black, the Rockies manager.
Little hometown bias from Kerwin Danley.
Bud Black still makes his home in San Diego.
It's got to be a little strange. Like Jim Wolf, the umpire that was brothers with Randy Wolf, they wouldn't let him ump the plate when his brother Randy would pitch because they thought there'd be some bias. KD's a good guy and a good umpire, and I'm sure him and Bud Black have lots of stories to tell.
Randy Wolf on the last Brewers team to make the postseason in 2011. The 0-1. 0-2. Arenado drove in more runs over the last 5 seasons than any other player in all of baseball. Big opportunity here in a scoreless game, top of the 3rd inning. The 0-2 from Chacin. Arenado down on strikes, 2 away.
Well, these are always the most effective sliders. They look like they're right down the middle and end up right over the heart of home plate, but down and coming into your living room. That shows you. It almost looked like a cookie right there to be hit, and then it just disappears.
He set that up, though, with the first pitch. He threw him one fastball, and it got Arenado off the slider, and then he threw him two good sliders for two bad swings from a really good hitter.
2 away for Carlos Gonzalez. Walked in the first inning.
And another huge at bat for the Colorado offense. It's been struggling. They just had their 3-hole hitter, their best hitter up. Strikeout with runners in scoring position. Now their 4-hole hitter, the guy they moved up to the cleanup spot just for this situation. Another huge at bat in this series for the Rockies.
The 0-1. Chacín missing high. We mentioned earlier the friendship between Chacín and Gonzalez. Very close. Big at bat in the 3rd inning. Game 2 of the National League Division Series. 2 on for the Rockies. Anderson and LeMahieu. Following the strikeout of Arenado. Rockies have already had more base runners than in the first 8 innings of yesterday's game. Looking to do something with those base runners here in the 3rd. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Like you said, David, Chacín's having a hard time locating his fastball. As a hitter, you should realize that. Have to sit something soft, have to sit slider, have to sit something breaking, because he has not shown the ability at all to throw a fastball anywhere close for a strike, other than sporadically at best.
The 2-1 to Gonzalez, 2-2. The 2-2 is fouled back to the screen. "54 pitches already thrown by Chacín. 24 in the 1st inning, then 10, now 20 in the 3rd.
And a lot of maximum effort pitches too from Chacín, knowing that he's on a pitch count, going as hard as he can, as long as he can.
Three-two, 2 outs. Big at bat in the game. What do you think? Slider? It's got to be a slider, right? It has to be. Carlos Gonzalez has to think a slider. I would think a slider is coming at this point.
Did try to sneak a fastball by him 2 pitches ago on the 2-2 count, but yes, your best pitch is your slider.
Story on deck has struggled all series, especially with breaking pitches.
Payoff pitch from Chacín. Ground ball to the right side. Rockies strand 2 in the 3rd. The score, middle of the 3rd. Time now for the Capital One rewarding performance.
How does Jhoulys Chacín get it done? This pitch right here sets up the at-bat to Arenado. Fastball in. Then a little bit of a hanger, but he's off of it because of the fastball. Then he finishes him with a slider. And then Cargo, after all the pitches, He throws him a ball that looks like a strike, breaks out of the zone for the easy out to get out of trouble. Chassin throws just enough strikes to get you to swing, and in big situations, he throws balls that start as strikes and end up as balls. The over-aggressive Rockies, we talk about how much they swing. Well, they've swung themselves out of a couple innings by swinging at bad pitches.
Chassin, 56 pitches over the first 3 innings, has not allowed a run. Rockies have stranded 4 base runners. They are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. So now Anderson, who has retired the Brewers in order in each of the first 2 innings on a total of 20 pitches, takes the mound after he was out on the base paths for a long time. He led off that 3rd inning with a walk.
Yeah, he did his part. He got on base to lead off the inning. Problem is, he didn't get to touch home plate. So it's still a tie game, 0-0.
Travis Shaw leading off for the Brewers, 0 for 3, walked twice in game 1 yesterday. Moved down to the number 7 spot in the order.
Saw Chassin there with the bat. He looks like he's going to hit. Nobody warming up in the bullpen. Craig Counsell staying true to form. Said he was going to try to get him to 80 pitches at least.
56 so far over 3 innings.
We keep talking about Chassin's slider as a hitter. I always knew what a guy's out pitch was. You know, I knew if I could hit that pitch, I would look for it because I knew I was going to get one. It's hard to look for more than one pitch off a hitter.
Shaw with a bloop into right center. It drops in.
Or as a hitter, it's hard to look for more than one pitch. And if I know Chassin is 50-50 slider, and I know I'm going to get it in a big situation, I want to take that away from him. So you look for it up, and unfortunately for the Rockies, they haven't done that. They're swinging some bad pitches, and he's done a great job of throwing balls that look like strikes and end up as balls.
Brewers have their first base runner here in game 2. And now Eric Kratz, the number 8 hitter. .67 games for the Brewers during the regular season, 54 starts behind the plate. He was acquired from the Yankees organization in mid-May. Kratz did not play in yesterday's game. Has just 1 hit in his last 16 at bats dating back to the regular season. Center field. Blackman cannot get to it. Back-to-back base hits for Travis Shaw and Eric Kratz here in the bottom of the 3rd inning after Anderson retired the first 6 Brewers he faced.
Eric Kratz is a great story, Kenny, and you mentioned it. Bounced around, kind of a journeyman, veteran backup catcher. Finally, after all these years, after breaking in 2010, has the most at-bats on the big league level that he's ever had. Become a big part of this Milwaukee run, and Chassin obviously will be bunting here.
Kratz, 38 years old, on his 7th team on the postseason roster. He even pitched 3 times during the regular season for Milwaukee.
They love him. Craig Counsell couldn't stop glowing about Kratz when he was discussing him and why he's catching Chassin because of the way he handles him, the way he catches pitches.
Chassin, as you saw on our graphic, led all major league pitchers during the regular season with 9 sacrifice bunts.
That means the 8-hole guy is getting on in front of him. The 7 and 8-hole hitters are getting on in front of him to allow him to get the bunt so many times.
See, he's getting froggy up there. He tried to pull it back, almost like he was going to try to take a lash at it. Veteran National League pitcher, he's handled the bat a little bit.
Popped up bunt. Tough play for a catcher. Throwing the mask. You see it late. You got all the gear on, and maybe Iannetta might have short-armed it a little bit or lost it in the lights, but I think if he looks back on it, he might say he probably should have caught it. Just sometimes you just whiff on the ball.
The 0-2. Chelsea gets the bat on it. Arenado will make the tag. No hug this time.
That is funny, Kenny. I mean, what are the odds of another one, another hug play? But Chassin, as I said, a veteran, fakes the bunt, pulls it back, and it almost works. A chopper, but right at Arenado, who instead of going to second base and potential double play with the pitcher running, chooses to make the tag.
I'm wondering why he didn't go to second base. LeMahieu recovered and got to second. Chassin, the pitcher, running. You'd much rather take 2 outs and have a runner on third with 2 outs and still have first and second and only 1 out.
And now Kane swinging at the first pitch. Flies out to Gonzalez and right. 2 away.
Well, just that fast, right? You had first and second, nobody out. The pitcher didn't get the bunt down. And now, Kane, first pitch swinging. And Anderson with a chance to escape. A first and second, nobody out jam.
I think Kane was a little frustrated, but he didn't make it 25 feet down the line right there. I understand frustration, but
nowhere to go.
Iannetta out for a visit with Anderson. Yeah, we talked about Anderson out on the base paths. Would that affect you, David, if you were out on base for a while?
It could, absolutely. It affected me in the World Series in 1998 when I was an American League pitcher, had to bat, got on base, had to run the bases. By the time I got to third base, I was out of gas. The next inning, I went out and I gave up the lead.
So you're admitting that pitchers are not athletes and they can't run the bases. Thank you.
Here we go again.
After yesterday. Thank you very much.
Hey, I was on base.
Yeah, but you were tired because you had to run all the way to third.
But you guys did sweep that series.
Check out my World Series offensive numbers. 3 for 12.
Very nice. Here's Yelich. 2 on, 2 out. Strike 1.
Tough spot for Tyler Anderson right here. Yes, he got 2 outs, but you have the MVP of the National League up, and you have Ryan Braun, a guy who's absolutely destroyed you your whole career. So you have to throw strikes to Yelich, but you don't want to give him anything too good. And if you walk him, you have a guy who's owned you on deck.
That's the first ball thrown by Anderson the entire inning. He's faced 5 batters, has thrown only 11 pitches. The first 10 were strikes.
First pitch changeup to get Yelich swinging, and now upstairs with a fastball. Looked like that one was for show to get to this pitch.
Well, he got Yelich out his first at bat on a left-on-left changeup. Got him off the end of the bat and hit a fly ball.
In the 3rd inning yesterday, Yelich went deep. 2-run shot to give the Brewers a 2-0 lead. An opportunity in the 3rd inning today with 2 on, 2 out.
It's just a certain way that Yelich is taking pitches. It's a little scary right now if you're trying to get him out.
The 2-1 from Anderson. Missing high with the fastball. Ball 3-1.
Change up, fastball for show, a couple of cutters away. Fish ain't biting.
First 3-ball count for Anderson today.
Up. They've all been up, though. It's a bad miss. If you're Anderson's known as a low ball pitcher, if he's missing up, that's a bad spot for him. The
3-1. High and inside, ball 4. A 2-out walk to Yelich. The bases are loaded for Ryan Braun. Braun struck out his first time up. We mentioned the career numbers. 6 career grand slams, 3 career home runs against Anderson in 9 at-bats.
That was the danger we just talked about when Christian Yelich walked up for Tyler Anderson. Was you have the MVP, the guy who's on fire, and then you have a guy who owns you. Which one would you rather pitch to? It looked to me like Tyler Anderson wanted no part of Christian Yelich, and he'd rather face Ryan Braun. But sometimes be careful what you wish for. He did strike him out his first at bat, so maybe he has confidence or he saw something when he wrote it down in his notes.
Braun took him deep here back in August. 0-1.
It's a rare curveball from Anderson. He's got a good one there at 74 miles an hour. On the year, only throws it about 4% of the time.
I think our camera crew just summed up the feeling of all the Brewers fans. We showed a fan in the stands, and you could read his lips. He said, just get a base hit. Ryan Braun first swing was swinging for the downs. He wanted it all.
The 0-1 from Anderson. Right center. Inning comes to an end. The Brewers strand 3. Anderson gets out of it. No score through 3. Rumor has it that if you have a clever comment, MLB will reply. Follow at MLB on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. AJ, do you have a clever comment?
I'm not on Twitter, so I just let my clever comments come out on the air with you and David, Kenny.
Perhaps we will reply.
That's right, hopefully. A lot of times you don't. You ignore me, especially off air. But on the air, sometimes you have to reply.
Once in a while. Here's Trevor Story. Struck out his first time up, and for the 4th time in 5 at-bats in this series. Leading off against Chassin in the top of the 4th inning, scoreless game.
This guy needs a hit. There's my clever comment for Trevor Story. He needs a hit. He needs a good at bat, and he needs to square a ball up and get a hit.
Second in the National League in home runs, 4th in runs batted in, 1st in extra base hits during the regular season. 0 for 5 in this series. 2-1.
It's definitely, KJ, hard to watch. A guy in Trevor Story, as you mentioned, arguably should be at least getting some MVP votes or be in that conversation. And also the guy who made Rockies fans forget about Troy Tulowitzki.
Story, Parra, Desmond for the Rockies here in the 4th. Now 3-1 down to JP.
Text here, Kenny, on Trevor Story. Of course, he strained the flexor bundle in his right elbow late in the season at Dodger Stadium, had to miss a week of games. Bud Black is pretty confident that Story is back to being himself, but maybe not quite 100%.
All right, thanks, JP. The 3-1 from Chassin, catching the outside corner. The count is full.
That's a great point by JP. You never know. Players like Story are going to play hurt. You're not going to miss these games. But also a speed and power guy. 27 stolen bases this year from Story. So a double threat if he can get on base.
Payoff pitch right back to the box. Chassin has it. Low throw. Nice play by Aguilar. 1 away. Story now 0 for 6 over the last 2 days. So with 1 out, here's Parra, grounded out to the shortstop Perez, his first time up. Pitch number 63 from Chacin, in for a called strike. 0-1.
Well, with every pitch and every inning and every hitter that goes by, I keep looking out to the Milwaukee bullpen, waiting for someone to get up. But so far, no one's gotten up, and Chacin is giving them length. Granted, it's only 3 1/3, but they need all they can get with the bullpen that was used for 9-10 innings yesterday.
Brewers used 6 pitchers. Their starter, Brandon Woodruff, was outstanding. Did not allow a hit or a run in 3 innings. 4 of the Brewers pitchers recorded at least 4 outs. There's a base hit into left center off the bat of Parra. 1 out base runner for the Rockies here in the 4th. Chacin's numbers Monday at Wrigley: 5 2/3, 75 pitches, and today on short rest. First time in his career.
It was a great effort at Wrigley Field. Tough atmosphere, big stakes. I think he had a better fastball that night. He threw more strikes with it than he is here today, but this guy's a veteran. Never gives in. He's got a slider he can throw for a strike and one he can miss with over the heart of the plate. That's a strikeout pitch.
Facing Ian Desmond, flying to right his first time up. Chacin made 109 starts for the Rockies. He's only the 2nd pitcher all time to start his postseason debut, and there's Garrett in the pen, to start his postseason debut against a team for which he started at least 100 games. Jeremy Guthrie did it back in 2014 for the Royals against the Orioles. At least 100 starts for one team, and then you start your postseason debut against that same club.
It is remarkable. Long-time Rocky, Kenny, and finally got a decent deal this offseason. 2-year, $15.5 million deal. Milwaukee's going to pay him $6 million next year. Paid him $8 million this year with a 1.5 signing bonus, and he's lived up to his in the bargain. There's some surplus value there for the Brew Crew from this guy this year.
Heck, for the 1 game in Wrigley alone, right? It was worth it for not only the innings he gave him, but that 1 game in Wrigley where they clinched the National League Central. Heck, that was worth the contract for this year easily, I'm sure, if you ask Brewer fans.
That was game 163 on Monday. Brewers clinched the division. Cubs then lost to the Rockies in 13 on Tuesday evening as Colorado advanced with that win to this National League Division Series. Brewers won the opener in 10 innings yesterday, 3-2. One to Desmond, in for a called strike, now 1-2.
See, right there's a perfect example when he needs to get a strike with the slider. He can get around it just a little bit and flatten it out and get it in the zone. And then when he needs a strikeout, he'll get on top of it a little more and get it to drop out. Let's see what Kratz wants. Give me the one over the heart of the plate in the dirt. I'll block it. Pick the guy up at first. Sign comes from the dugout to the catcher.
Almost always comes from the dugout. Very rarely are you given the authority as a catcher to make those decisions. But some teams allow you to do it. Some coaches allow, but most of them want the control. And here comes your slider, Coney, just like you said.
A 1-2 from Chacin. Desmond reached out and pops out to the second baseman Shaw for out number 2.
Well, this is a veteran pitcher. When I need to get a strike with my slider, okay, let me get around it a little bit. Almost a front door action. And then when I need to get a swing and miss, I get a little more on top of it and get it down and away. And Chacin is the master of that. Young pitchers, you don't always throw your best slider every pitch. You got to have one you can get in the strike zone for a strike, and then another one that you try to finish hitters with out of the zone.
With 2 away, here's Chris Iannetta. Popped out to the first baseman Aguilar, his first time up. Strike 1. Parra, the runner on first, a one-out single. Chacin then retired Desmond. His next pitch will be number 70. High and at it. Left field, Brian Braun. Rockies strand a runner in the fourth. Still scoreless in Milwaukee. Back in Milwaukee, Jesus Aguilar leads off for the Brewers here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Against Tyler Anderson, takes a called strike. Aguilar struck out leading off the second inning. Looking for his first hit of this series.
Aguilar he stands so far off the plate. He's a big guy trying to get his arms extended. You see how far deep in the batter's box he is.
Aguilar takes a called strike 3. He strikes out for the second time today. Not happy with the home plate umpire Kerwin Danley. The NLDS, presented by Doosan on FS1, is sponsored by T-Mobile. Whether you're home or away, T-Mobile has you covered. By Taco Bell. And by Indeed, the world's #1 job site.
Well, David, you mentioned how far Aguilar is off the plate. That ball that Tyler Anderson threw starts out off the plate, backdoor cutter, comes back. It has to look like it's a mile out there. So because of the distance he has between himself and the plate, yes, he wants the ball out over. This ball starts out way off the plate and comes back perfectly for a strike. And he's not happy with the call, but it has to look a mile outside.
Just around the plate.
They get a ball. They get a ball off the plate. That's a strike. It's in the leeway.
Aguilar struck out twice, both times on 3 pitches.
You know, a lot of times on an 0-2 count, you won't get that call if you're Anderson. But we talked about Danley having more of a pitcher-friendly zone, holding true today so far. I don't know what he's writing in his notebook, but it's working. He's definitely a man with a plan out there and has established all his pitches. Strike zone plots, detailed notes.
That notebook, the color of his alma mater, the Oregon Ducks. Stock is fly to center his first time up.
Well, I guess that's better to do it, write it down right after the fact than it is to try to wait after the game, because sometimes you might forget exactly what sequences you threw. But for him to do it right away is, I like the idea, just a lot of work.
Everybody's different, and maybe it's a calming influence on him.
He's thrown 9 straight strikes through 13 in a row earlier. The 0-2 to Moustakas. Much different story so far than his previous start here in Milwaukee. Just over 2 months ago when he allowed 7 earned runs, 7 hits in 4 innings, 3 home runs, 6 runs in the first inning.
It's a great shot here as he brings his glove up. He gets the sign. And he'll bring his glove up almost to his ear, and that's where he'll change his grip right there. And now he's off and running. For a pitcher, that's always the key, is where you get your grip. He's got 3 or 4 different grips. Change up, fastball. Okay, now he brings it up, and if he's going to switch the grip, it's going to happen there. A little before that, right when he brings it up. Pitchers are always consumed with whether they're tipping their pitches or not. And see right there when he brings it up to the side of his head, that's where he gets his grip. And believe me, this is what Milwaukee's looking at in the dugout. Are they seeing a tip? Is he fanning his glove a little bit as he twirls the ball around and gets a different grip? Is he tipping his changeup? That's his best pitch. That's what you want to see. Does he do something different on his changeup? For a pitcher, mystery is the key. If you can take that mystery out of it and know what's coming, it's a tremendous advantage for a hitter.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat to Moustakas. Another foul.
And I'm watching Anderson. Every team has at home especially, they have a camera right behind home plate that is focused directly on the pitcher. And every team has a guy that watches every pitcher to look for a tip, look for a sign. And I'm watching Anderson, and I'm wondering if he's not calling the game to Chris Iannetta with where he touches on it. Sometimes he touches his jersey, sometimes he's touching his pant leg, sometimes he's going to his hat. There's a jersey touch. I don't know if he's doing that for a sign to give Iannetta so he doesn't have to shake, because he's not shaking at all. So maybe he might be calling his own game out there.
Moustakas into right center, goes all the way to the wall. Moustakas in at second with a stand-up double.
See a cutter kind of spinning down and away, and Moustakas cuts him off before it could get down and away. When you have a name like Moustakas, it doesn't take long before you start hearing the Moose chants. He's already quickly becoming a very popular player here.
Well, you hit a walk-off game in extra innings of a playoff game. You win a game with that, you're going to become very popular with the hometown crowd.
Ball one to Perez with a runner in scoring position here in the fourth inning for the Brewers. Perez during the regular season went 9 for 19 against Rocky pitching. 0 for 3 in this series. Fly to right back in the second inning. '50th pitch of the game from Anderson is drilled to left center, and it will bounce over for a ground rule double. Moustakas scores. The Milwaukee Brewers take a 1-0 lead. Back-to-back doubles for the Brewers. Perez drives in the game's first run.
Perez, the guy that had 11 doubles on the year. This will be number 12 in a big spot on a changeup that stayed right there in the heart of the plate. Tyler Anderson had been so good up to this point at burying that changeup down and away. First mistake he's made with one all day.
Ball one to Travis Shaw.
And a long at bat by Mike Moustakas. 9-pitch at bat, double in the gap, and then mistake by Hernan Perez. 1-0 Brewers. And all the pressure the Rockies have had on Julius Chassin, they have 0. One mistake by Anderson, it's 1-0 Milwaukee.
We mentioned the success Perez had against the Rockies during the regular season. He hit one of those first inning home runs here off Anderson back on August 4th. And he drives in the first run of this game. And there he goes. Takes third uncontested.
Just smart baseball by Perez. He knows Anderson has kind of the triple Lindy leg kick, gets a huge walking lead, and he knows with the shift on, Arenado can't get to third base. He goes so early. And Arenado doesn't even move because he's so far off the base, he knows they have no chance.
Time for StatCast AI, powered by Amazon Web Services. The Perez double.
Almost 107 miles an hour, and the guy in the bullpen barehanded his ball.
Ball 3 to Shaw.
You start seeing a little frustration from Anderson. He's missing up, and wanting some close pitches, but he's not getting them. And now he's behind in the game and in the count, and a little frustration.
Infield in, 3-0. Strike one. Runner on third, Perez, 1 out, 1 run in for the Brewers here in the fourth. Anderson delivers the 3-1 pitch, misses high. Shaw draws a walk. Runners on the corners. Time for a game break. The Los Angeles, Kevin Burkhardt. All right, thanks very much, Kevin. Here is a former Houston Astro, Eric Kratz, to the plate. With runners on first and third, 1 out. Kratz single to center his first time up. And now, in a rundown, Perez started to head home. And Perez is out at third. Tag applied by Arenado. Shaw now at second base.
And I'm not sure about any of this, AJ.
It's the old Little League play. Let's get him to throw to first, and we'll steal a run when Desmond lets us go. But Desmond does a great job of faking. The only problem is he waits a little bit too long to throw it back to third, and he's called out. Brewers are going to challenge.
Makes no sense to me with 1 out. With 2 outs, maybe. Billy Martin used to do that play with the Yankees with 2 outs, but with 1 out, you got a lot better ways to drive in that run at third. A safety squeeze with Kratz the catcher, a sac fly. That seems like they ill-advised at best by trying that play in that situation with 1 out.
Well, the Brewers are feeling it. They're up 1-0. They're going to be aggressive.
Replay review brought to you by Mitel.
From the initial view, he looks like he sneaks his hand in there. Does Arenado keep him off the base? He does. He's on Arenado's shoe unless his thumb is somehow wrapped around. It's a great camera shot, the first angle. This one not as conclusive because you can't see his hand on the base or his shoe. This angle right here is, he goes right into his shoe. Now, is the shoe part of the base? Is his thumb on the base?
Stymied.
Nice kick save by Nolan Arenado.
He was ruled out on the field, so there must be indisputable evidence to overturn. Question is, did his thumb get in, as AJ said? His other four fingers were blocked by that cleat of Arenado.
I don't think there's enough evidence to overturn it. If he was called safe, he probably would have stayed safe, but there's not a, you can't tell where his thumb is. You can't tell if it touches or not.
The call stands. Score at 1-3-5. Perez tagged out by Arenado. Shaw now at second with 2 away.
1 out, trying to steal a run, trying to be aggressive. Shaw trying to steal. If it works, great. You look like a genius. Unfortunately for the Brewers, the second out of the inning. Perez was waiting for Ian Desmond to throw the ball. If a right-handed first baseman, as soon as he turns to throw, the runner on third takes off for home because of the length of the throw and the turn of Ian Desmond. Well, unfortunately, Desmond pump faked and got Perez at third.
Kratz takes high, ball 1.
All this with 1 out, so preface by saying that. All the options you have to score a run with a man on third and 1 out.
The 1-0 from Anderson. Missing high. Ball 2. That's 6 straight balls thrown by Anderson.
See, Desmond's supposed to throw the ball right there, and see how he double clutches? And that's when Perez took off, because he thought Desmond was going to throw the ball to second, and if he throws that ball, he walks home. But because Desmond double clutched and saw him out of the corner of his eye, he holds it, and fortunately Perez slid into Arenado's foot. He still would have been safe, and they would have had second and third, 1 out. But because of the kick save by Arenado and those new Nike kicks he's got, he's out.
Well, I just don't like that play at all with 1 out. You got a pitcher that's starting to lose the strike zone, just walk the previous batter, and on the first pitch you're going to try a trick play. First and third, 1 out.
Now the 2-0 in for a called strike. A pinch hitter, Domingo Santana, has come out into the on-deck circle to bat should Kratz reach base. With the pitcher Chassin due up next. Shaw on the move. Now 2-2 on Kratz. Shaw now at third base.
Yeah, with 2 outs, obviously conceding the base.
Well, the Brewers see something in Anderson's windup because they're walking to third. Anytime they get the opportunity to go second to third. We saw Perez steal third with no throw, and now Shaw just walks to third with 2 outs granted, but still, that's too easy.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 run in here in the 4th inning. Brewers lead the Rockies 1-0. There's Perez. He drove in the run. Doubled in Moustakas. Anderson has thrown 24 pitches here in the fourth inning. Only 36 over the first three. Shaw, the runner at third. The 2-2 to Kratz. Full count.
For the Brewers here, they'd love to see nothing more than Eric Kratz to get on base to clear. They're going to use a pinch hitter because of Chassin's pitch count. Close pitch. Anderson obviously wanted it. Iannetta, the catcher, wanted it. But the Brewers want to clear the 9-hole and start Javi Guerra, the guy warming up, with a fresh inning because of Chassin's pitch count. So if he walks, if he gets a hit, it's a bonus. But if he gets on base, interesting decision for Craig Counsell.
Payoff pitch to Kratz. Gonzalez moving to his left, makes the play to retire the side. Brewers score a run. Driven in by Perez. We head to the fifth. 1-0 Milwaukee. Back to the NLDS on FS1, presented by Doosan. A run at the bottom of the fourth for the Milwaukee Brewers, who lead the series 1-0. Chassin, 70 pitches over the first four. The pinch hitter had come out on deck, but Chassin remains in the game. Facing Anderson. Diving stop by Aguilar, and then Chassin covering to retire Tyler Anderson, one away.
Well, Tyler Anderson's already led off one inning in his previous at bat and got a walk, and this time bidding for a double. Nice recovery. Chassin right there.
I think the last thing on earth that Jesus Aguilar thought was Anderson was going to pull the ball down the first base line. And great play, great reaction, and Chassin covering the base. If Craig Counsell could somehow get Chassin through this inning with him leading off next inning, huge upside here for the Brewers.
Here's Blackman 0 for 2. Rockies have had base runners in 3 of the first 4 innings. They've left 5 on base. Colorado 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They scored only 2 runs yesterday on 4 hits. No runs on 3 hits over the first 4 innings today in game 2.
I think it's not the number of guys they've left on, it's how they've left them on. In the middle of their lineup, they've had 2 chances in the middle of their lineup with guys in scoring position, and both times they failed to play to run. That hurts more than just leaving guys out there. If, say, the pitcher comes up or the bottom of the order is up. It's when the heart of your order is up, the guys you're counting on, when they struggle, that's what hurts.
Obvious frustration with the strike zone. Thinks he hit the target, didn't get it.
And now the 3-1 from Chassin. On the ground to the right side, 2 away.
This graphic is why most Rocky players get no respect in the MVP voting, because of Coors Field. You see the difference. These guys are great hitters, but something about Coors Field helps you. And Nolan Arenado, almost 100 points less. Charlie Blackmon, almost 100 points less. Trevor Story, 30 points less. It's a real thing. And hitting in Coors Field isn't about the home runs. It's because the ballpark itself is so large. You get hits. You get cheap hits that fall in front of outfielders because the outfield is so large.
2 for 18 in this series, combined 9 strikeouts.
All the more reason for Milwaukee to protect their home field advantage here. Not only because of those offensive numbers that AJ just talked about, but also their best pitchers are waiting to go.
2-0 with LeMahieu at the plate. Down to JP.
Well, conversely, Kenny, if you think about the MVP in the context of the Rockies hitters, shouldn't then Kyle Freeland get extra credit, if you will, in the Cy Young vote?
Lowest home run average in Rockies history this season.
Well, JP, you can give him extra credit, but Jacob deGrom's winning that award, so he can have all the extra credit he wants. But Jacob deGrom had a historic year for the Mets.
Chacín has hit that number we talked about. This is pitch number 81 as he looks to get through 5 innings.
Another fantastic effort. This one a little more of a struggle for Chacín. As you see, he's backed up now.
Guerra up and throwing in the Brewers pen. Ball 4 to LeMahieu, a 2-out walk. Third walk issued by Chacín. So now Nolan Arenado singled in the first inning with 2 outs and then struck out with 2 on and 1 out back in the third. LeMahieu, the runner on first, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning. Brewers lead by a run.
The strategy of the National League game. It's not just about pitch counts and relievers coming in for starters. The double switch is in play here, with the pitcher due to lead off next inning.
Yes, but Craig Counsell wants him to get through this inning because if he was to double switch, he'd have to take either Travis Shaw out, one of his best hitters, who he uses later in the game at first for defense, or Eric Kratz as catcher. And usually you don't want to take your catcher out with a lead. As we say that, he's telling someone to get ready for a double switch.
Arenado behind in the count, 0-2.
But another big at bat here for Arenado. Another chance to break through and hit a ball hard, hit a home run, do something to help the Rockies, get them excited. Down in the count, 0-2 real quick.
The 0-2 from Chacín. He strikes out Arenado for the second time today, and that will end the inning. Chacín gets through 5, has not allowed a run. Five scoreless innings for Jhoulys Chacín through 85 pitches, allowed only 3 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts on short rest. Bottom of the 5th, Domingo Santana, who pinch hit for the starting pitcher yesterday as well. That was in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and he popped out to second. Terrific September for Santana off the bench. 8 for 18 as a pinch hitter for Milwaukee. Free infield is to the left side against the righty Santana as Chacín heads to the Brewers clubhouse. He did his job.
It's a gutsy effort from him and Eric Kratz, a veteran catcher and a veteran pitcher, getting through it.
Craig Counsell using 6 pitchers yesterday. Counsell said it worked exactly the way we wanted, and he got what he wanted from Chacín, who struck out Arenado twice.
That's a frustrated gentleman right there. Head shake, missing sliders. Chacín's thrown him a couple that are hangers in big spots, and he's fouled one off his last at bat, and that one 2 strikes, a hanging slider, and he just missed it and That is very, very frustrating for a hitter, especially a guy as quality as Nolan Arenado.
Santana called out on strikes. Pitch hitting for Chassin. One away. 5th strikeout for Tyler Anderson.
Yeah, and on this side, the Rockies pitcher is doing everything he can to give his team a chance to stay in this game. Back on track. Good start right there in this inning after last inning kind of struggling just a bit. Frustrated with the strike zone.
One away. Here's Lorenzo Cain. Struck out on the 1st and then flied out with 2 on the first pitch in the 3rd inning. One and one on Cain.
Excellent changeup all day long for Anderson. One mistake he made was a double that tied this guy, gave the run on the board for the Brewers. Just a great combination right there. Fastball in, he adds on the inside corner in 94 and 80 miles away on the previous pitch. Great separation between top end and low end and on the edges all day long for the most part. Just an excellent job by Anderson, understanding that his offense is struggling and every mistake matters.
A 1-2 from Anderson, missing away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, you said it best, David. He's done everything to keep his team in the game and give him a chance to win, but at some point the Rockies have to score some runs. Only two yesterday, 2 in the wild card game. At some point this offense needs to explode and break out and do something to get everyone excited. It's tough to know you have to be perfect, especially as a pitcher.
Two pitch is fouled away. There's Arenado, frustrated. Struck out in the 3rd inning with 2 men on. Struck out to end the 5th with a runner on base. Blackman 0 for 3 today, as the Rockies continue to struggle offensively.
Good time for a changeup.
Right field, Gonzalez makes the play to retire Cain. 2 out. Time now for our super cuts ready to go, with Christian Yelich stepping to the plate. His numbers over the last 15 games, including this series: .489 batting average, 7 home runs, including one yesterday to give Milwaukee a 2-0 lead in inning number 3. Fly to right in the 1st inning, walked in the 3rd.
This is when you want to face Yelich. Nobody on and 2 outs. Anderson's been sharp. Shook off the changeup on the last pitch, and kind of quick pitch. Low Cain got in on him a bit. Let's see how he goes to Yelich here with 2 outs and nobody on.
1-0, swing and a miss by Yelich. 1-1.
And that pitch right there, the heater in, that's the one I've been waiting to see from the Rockies to Yelich. He hit a changeup out for a home run to left center field yesterday, and they pretty much stayed away from him most of the time. But you got to show this guy something inside, make him aware of a ball in to try to speed him up if at all possible. that pitch, although it was inside, was meant to be away and was just a miss, but it still serves a purpose. It still serves a purpose of, hey, Christian, we're going to come in there and we're going to show you something in. Maybe speed him up a little bit to get him out with a cutter away or a changeup away.
Two-one from Anderson. Yelich shoots this one into center field. Blackman takes a couple of steps in. Anderson retires the Brewers in order in the 5th. Gonzalez, Story, Parra due up for the Rockies. Call to the bullpen. Corey Knebel, who has not allowed an earned run in his last 17 appearances, pitched an inning and 2/3 in yesterday's game. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Carlos Gonzalez leads off for Colorado here in the 6th inning, trailing the Brewers 1-0. Gonzalez 0 for 1 with a walk against his good friend Chacin, who was out of the game after pitching 5 scoreless innings for Milwaukee.
And so it begins, David. The difference in philosophies, as you mentioned yesterday, the quality starts in Colorado. The guys going deep, they're starters, and the Brewers didn't rush to get guys out of their bullpen. The strength of their team, even Craig Counsell said, hey, they're the strength. We want those guys in the game with the game on the line.
The 1-1 from Knebel. 1-2. Knebel terrific down the stretch after he was sent to the minors for a bit in August. Came back, named the National League Relief Pitcher of the Month for September. One-two to Gonzalez, strikes him out. 1 away here in the top of the 6th.
Right on the side of the ball, you can see 4-seam spin though, right on by. Knebel known for that breaking ball. He's trying to go up the ladder. You see he wants it up and just up enough. More belt high, I think, maybe just above the belt. Gonzalez swings underneath it. Of course, when it's 97 miles an hour, you got to speed up to catch up.
Here's Trevor Story, 0 for 6 in the series, 4 strikeouts. JP discussed his recent elbow issues earlier. Here's Gonzalez following his strikeout. Rockies no runs on just 1 hit yesterday over the first 8 innings. So far today, no runs on 3 hits through 5 1/3.
An interesting story developing for the Brewers is how do they handle these last 4 innings. Knebel obviously in now, but Hader, is he available? How long can he go? Craig Counsell gave us, yeah, he's available, but we want to be careful with him. Story is available. Do you bring in Jeffers if you have a 1-run lead going to the 9th? All valid questions right now for the Brewers, who are a bullpen team.
The 2-0 from Knebel. Strike 1. .39 saves for Knebel last season. Injured early in the season this year. Missed nearly 2 months. Strike 2. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch from Knebel. Story sends it into shallow left field. The shortstop Perez makes the play for out number 2. We've been talking about this Brewers bullpen during the regular season. 42 wins, most in the National League. Their ranks in 5 other categories. Game 1 yesterday, 7 innings, only 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. And how about Josh Hader, who set an all-time Major League record for strikeouts by a left-handed relief pitcher. There's Hader on the left. 143 strikeouts during the regular season. Gerardo Parra with the bases empty and 2 away. Singled his last time up.
It's a collection of power arms that come after you one after the other. And with balance, too. It's nice to have a left-handed power arm to break up all these righties. And Craig Counsell's got plenty of options. Can look up and down the lineup and bring in Hader when necessary. And the reason you see a lot of these starters excel in the bullpen is it's much easier to pitch with 2 pitches at 2 or 3 innings at a time at most, or 1 inning. Brian Cashman, the general manager of the New York Yankees, talks about failed starters excelling as relievers. And not that it's easy to be a reliever, it's a whole different mindset. But when you can come in the game and go maximum effort and just worry about 2 pitches, that's a whole different animal than trying to be an old school starter and throw 100 pitches or get through 7 innings.
The 0-2 from Knebel. He went around, says the third base umpire, Alfonso Marquez. Parra strikes out. He can't believe it. Middle of the 6th in Milwaukee. 1-run game. Gerardo Parra in left field for the Rockies, not happy with the call from the third base umpire Alfonso Marquez. He said Parra went around to end the top half. As Ryan Braun swings at the first pitch from Tyler Anderson in the bottom of the 6th inning and flies out to Charlie Blackmon in center field, 1 away.
Well, does Parra have a gripe? From this angle, it's close, but it doesn't look like the bat ever goes through, and that's exactly the angle Alfonso Marquez is looking at. This is the one, as a hitter, that'll frustrate you. His hips go, but his bat stays back. And if you see that little shimmer on his bat, that's what umpires look for. Coney, there's an old theory that if you use a black bat instead of a brown bat, the shimmer doesn't happen, so you get less check swings called against you. I always used a black bat, but I still got plenty of check swings called against me, so I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that one maybe was an old urban myth.
Interesting. I thought Parra had a grievance there.
I think the umpire saw his hips. His hips were cleared, but the bat drug behind and never went over the plate. So he has a gripe, but at least he checked. At least Kerwin Dantley, the home plate umpire, checked. And once he checks, you get mad at the other guy, but you have to give the home plate umpire credit for checking. That's how quick you have to be as an umpire. Did he go or not? From that angle, it looks like he absolutely wasn't even close, but Parra gripes and gets nowhere.
Parra's got a right to be angry there.
The last pitch, the first ball Aguilar has taken today, struck out on 3 pitches twice. 1-2.
Well, Anderson continues to impress. Changing styles. He'll quick pitch with almost no leg kick. He'll, as Bud Black said, do the triple Lindy and a couple hitches in his leg kick. He's been all over the edges all night long.
Aguilar with a drive into left field, but it will stay in the ballpark as the catch is made by Parra. And the top 4 of the Brewers order today are now 0-for-11.
Got in on him just enough. As we said, Anderson's been not afraid to come inside all night long and jammed Aguilar just enough there.
'83 pitches with 2 outs in the 6th inning. He went 7 2/3 at his last start Sunday, did not allow a run. Here's Mike Moustakas, who has scored the only run in this game. He doubled in the 4th and then was driven home by Perez, who doubled. Right field on the warning track into the glove of Gonzalez to end the inning. Through 6 in Milwaukee, game 2, Brewers lead by a run. Fans, every time you tweet using hashtag HR4HR this postseason, T-Mobile will donate another $1 to hurricane recovery. Joakim Soria into pitch here in the 7th for the Brewers, facing Ian Desmond. Soria retired the Rockies in order in the top of the 10th yesterday and picked up the victory in game 1. He retired Desmond on a line out to 3rd. Bottom of the order for the Rockies here in the 7th. They trail 1-0. Soria, 220 career saves. That's 5th among active pitchers. 34-year-old right-hander delivers. Now 2-1 on Desmond. Desmond 0 for 6 so far in this series. A chopper just in front of second, and Desmond beats the throw.
Well, we can guess Anderson's done. He took his notes and went home.
So that closes the book.
That's right.
On Tyler Anderson.
He took his notes and went home. You can't say the dog ate his homework. He pitched great. All the work, all the stats, all the things he was writing down, they worked great for Tyler Anderson, and he did a great job of keeping the Rockies in this game, only giving up 1 run on 4 hits.
Agreed. Very impressive effort.
Tired the last 7 batters he faced, 84 pitchers in all.
Don't underestimate the hit that Ian Desmond just got. It wasn't hit hard, but a chopper over the mound. Travis Shaw tried to make a barehanded play, but sometimes those little infield hits can get not only yourself going, but the whole team going.
Especially leading off the inning.
4th hit for the Rockies today, only their 8th in the series. They have a batting average of 148 over these first 2 games. But a leadoff single, which did not leave the infield, off the bat of Desmond, as the Rockies try to scrape together a run here in the 7th.
This meeting right here is just to get Hader warmed up in the bullpen. He's up. The ultimate weapon for the Brewers is up and trying to get ready to go as quick as possible. And Kratz went out to talk to Joakim Soria just to give him a little bit of extra time to be ready for whoever the Rockies decide to pinch hit on deck.
David Dahl has come out into the on-deck circle for Colorado. With Iannetta at the plate, he's 0 for 2 today, 0 for 4 in the series. Desmond the runner on first as Soria throws over.
And more stalling. That's all that was, stall. I don't think Desmond's going to go. More stalling. How quick can Hader get ready for Dahl, if it is Dahl, and then Blackman after him?
Here's Dahl on deck. Iannetta at the plate. Fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Soria, 3rd pitcher of the day for the Brewers. Chacin went 5 scoreless innings. Knebel A 1-2-3 sixth. As Soria throws over for a third time.
See all of these stall tactics, AJ, that you pointed out, dead on. Sometimes you can break the concentration of Soria. That first pitch he threw was 90 right down the middle. Iannetta had a good swing at it. Still got to get this guy out before Hader gets in the game for the next batter.
And here comes another throw over. Now some of this might also be because maybe Iannetta, they might be thinking a bunt with only a 1-run lead, but the Rockies, I don't think with Chris Iannetta they're going to be bunting. They're looking for him to run into one and make this game 2-1 real quick. So
had a good swing at that first pitch.
Desmond goes, swing and a miss by Iannetta. The throw goes into center field. Desmond on his way to third.
maybe the Brewers were onto something with all the throwovers. Maybe they weren't stall tactics. Ian Desmond, this is a hit and run. Iannetta swings through a Kratz, knows he doesn't have a chance, tries to go from his knees, short hops it. Shaw, not being the second baseman, tries to tackle Ian Desmond, going to keep him from going to third. Not intentionally, but Desmond makes it to third easily, and the Rockies have the tying run on third with no outs.
The Desmond, who stole 20 bases during the regular season, steals second and then moves to third on the throwing error by Kratz. The 0-2 to Iannetta. Soria strikes him out swinging, and Iannetta breaks his bat over his knee.
I love it. I love it. That is just that just sums up the Rockies' frustration in this whole series, with first the pitch, just a drop down frisbee ball from Soria that Iannetta's way out in front of, and then this is awesome. You got to be strong to do that. I've tried that. I've done it, succeeded, and I've also failed. When you fail, it hurts.
So Iannetta strikes out, puts the captain gear back on, and Dahl has been called back. Rockies send out Matt Holliday to bat for Tyler Anderson.
This is more of trying to keep Hader out of the game. Bud Black likes the matchup of Holliday versus Soria over Dahl and Blackman versus Hader.
Give up the platoon advantage to avoid that guy.
That's quite the weapon. If you make other managers react to you just warming up in the bullpen.
Strike one to Holliday, who singled in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter in game 1, came around to score the second Colorado run, which tied the game. Lifetime against Soria, Holliday is 3 for 5. Infield in, strike 2.
You got to have contact here.
Three infielders to the left side. The shift against the veteran Matt Holliday. One out, top of the 7th inning. Holliday strikes out on 3 pitches, 2 away.
Well, up the ladder, you see Kratz standing up almost Yogi Berra style, right above the zone in 93.
So Soria strikes out Iannetta and Holliday. And now Craig Counsell calls for the left-hander to face Charlie Blackmon. Lefty against lefty. Here comes Josh Hader from the Brewers pen. Frustration on the faces of the Colorado Rockies, who have been held to 3 runs in their last 28 innings. Yet they won the wild card game. They were tied in extra innings in game 1. And the potential tying run is at third base here as Josh Hader comes out of the Brewers pen to face Charlie Blackmon. Lefty against lefty as Desmond heads back to third.
Hader's not only tough on lefties, he's tough on everybody. And Charlie Blackmon, good luck. 0.90 average of left-handed hitters. And nobody likes facing this guy, but especially left-handed hitters.
Hader faced 4 batters yesterday. Retired the ball, struck out 3. Blackmon is 1 for 3 lifetime against Josh Hader. Rockies had a runner on third with nobody out, following 2 strikeouts. Now 2 away as Blackmon lines out to Travis Shaw to end the inning. Desmond stranded at third base. No runs through 7 for Bud Black's Colorado Rockies. 7th inning stretch time in Milwaukee. The 2018 MLB postseason continues tonight. Game 1, Yankees-Red Sox on TBS. Then we're back on FS1. Game 2 of the National League Division Series between the Dodgers and the Braves. Here in Milwaukee, bottom of the 7th inning, Scott Oberg out of the Rockies pen to face Hernan Perez, who drove in the game's only run with a double to left center back in the 4th inning, scoring Mike Moustakas. Oberg pitched to 1 batter yesterday, Manny Pena. Grounded out of the 8th inning. And Perez gets the bat on this one. Into the gap in left center. Second double of the game for Perez.
See the spin. Instead of the dot, it's more of a circle, so the slider hangs. And a short hop right to the edge of the grass, off the yellow line and up and over.
Brewers are dying to add on a run here, an insurance run in the bottom of the 7th, and the Rockies, the way their offense is going, they can't afford to give up anything.
Travis Shaw has singled and walked today. Takes ball 1. Two and 0. Perez 9 steals of third base, including 1 earlier today, most in all of baseball. The 2-0 from Oberg. Base hit to right field. Perez held up at third. Second hit of the game for Shaw. Brewers with runners on the corners and no outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Bullet off the bat of Travis Shaw. Carlos Gonzalez on right does a great job getting to it quickly. Dale Cedar, the third base coach, throws up his hands quickly, has to stop him with no outs. And we have the situation that was happened earlier in the game. Kratz up first and third. They're not going to try the double steal trick this time, Coney. They could be in line for a safety squeeze, push the ball to the first baseman. Kratz needs to make contact here, preferably contact to the outfield to drive in this second run for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Excellent third base work there. Third base coach did a great job of waiting and throwing up the stop sign at the last minute.
Eric Kratz, strike one.
Ed Cedar did a great job. He came down the line in order to give Perez a longer view of him and also the throw. If the throw was offline, he could have kept winning, but Ed Cedar came down the line and threw up his stop sign late, and Perez did a great job of seeing it and getting back.
A thankless job, the third base coach job. You only notice him when the guy gets thrown out at home, but that was excellent work right there.
High and tight. Kratz hits the dirt.
He's all the way down the line. He's about a quarter of the way down, and as the ball's hit, he'll even move farther down the line, almost 3/4 of the way down the third base line. See how late Ed Cedar throws up the stop sign. It's good third base coaching. He's practiced that in BP.
Curtis Granderson in the on-deck circle with the pitcher spot due up.
Oberg thinking strikeout now. .96-mile-an-hour heater right on by up the ladder on the previous pitch. He also has an excellent slider to go to.
Anderson, the starter, went 6, allowed 1 run. The 1-2 from Oberg. Kratz fouls it off down the right field line. Here's Perez. Led off the inning with a double. And a Travis Shaw base hit to right. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Brewers lead 1-0. They lead the series 1-0. The 1-2 from Oberg, fastball missing high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 from Oberg. Kratz chased. 1 away.
Excellent work from Oberg under duress. Set this breaking ball up very nicely with a really high fastball. Tried to work up the ladder and then breaks out the slider at the perfect time.
Curtis Granderson has been called back. Jonathan Scope will bat for the pitcher, Hader.
That's what you call going high to set up the next pitch. And you see the spin. Good tight rotation. Excellent work by Iannetta to smother it. Sped him up with the high heater and slowed him down with the slider.
And Kratz swung at no strikes in that whole at bat. Every pitch that he either swung at or missed or fouled off were all out of the strike zone. High, either above the zone or below the zone.
So here's Scope, the former Oriole, grounded out in the 5th inning as a pinch hitter in game 1.
Interesting move. They have Granderson ready to go for the Brewers, and instead they call him back and bring up Scope because I guess because the Rockies have a lefty up in their bullpen. They like this matchup. It's kind of like the matchup we just saw where the Rockies pulled Dahl back for Holiday. They'd rather have Holiday face Soria, lose the platoon advantage, than Holiday face Hader. Because the Rockies had the choice to run Dahl there. They get Hader in, Holiday gets a lefty, but it's no ordinary lefty in Hader. Strikeout also changes the defense. When Kratz was out, the middle infield was kind of halfway. Now they can back up and play for a double play. It gives them more range to knock balls down, possibly turn a double play. That was a big out for Oberg to get Kratz.
The 0-1, Scope fouls it off back behind third, 0-2. Scope an all-star last season, quiet at the deadline this year from the Orioles. Pinch hitting with 1 out, bottom of the 7th, nail-biting time in Milwaukee.
They're winning. She should have a smile on her face.
The 0-2 from Oberg, foul back to the screen. Lorenzo Cain on deck. Brewers lead by a run. They scored their run back in the 4th inning when Perez doubled home Moustakas. Perez the runner on third. Shaw over at first. Scope at the plate, 0-2.
Scope has always been a really good fastball hitter, especially middle in. Excellent 0-2 pitch there from Oberg.
Two nice stops in a row by Chris Iannetto behind the plate on sliders in the dirt. We saw it with Kratz. He slid out, missed, blocked one, and the last 2 pitches have been just like this, textbook. It's great when you're a catcher, you block the ball and it goes right in your glove. You don't have to worry about it bouncing away or anything. Right in his glove, no advancement.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on the corners. Scope strikes out. 2 away, back-to-back strikeouts for Scott Oberg.
Just textbook. Sliders down in the dirt to see if he will bite. If not, then go above the zone. 4-seamer, he knows Scope likes it in. This is what you call pitching bad to somebody's strength. You like the ball in, middle in, let me, here, hit this one, up and in, out of the zone. Great spray chart there. Oberg utilizing all of his weapons.
Now 2 away. Lorenzo Cain 0 for 3 today, 0 for 7 in the series. Strike 1, says first base umpire Ted Barrett, the crew chief. Nothing in 2.
Momentum shifter potentially right here for the Rockies. Sometimes a pitcher can do it, pitching out of a jam, and similar theme as to yesterday's game where the Milwaukee missed opportunities to add on to a lead and the Rockies had a chance and did come back to tie late.
Well, both these teams have had plenty of opportunities today, the Rockies and the Brewers, and no one seems to be able to get that big hit. Both teams this inning have had runners on third with no outs. And so far, in the top of the 7th, so far in the bottom of the 7th, neither team has been able to capitalize and drive that run in.
Oberg started towards the dugout.
You know what he thinks.
No Fox box needed on that one. That ball's outside. Good call by Kerwin Danley. Oberg disagrees, but here comes another fastball. Let's see if Locaine can be on time and get the barrel to it.
Here's the 1-2 from Oberg, fouled back.
.98 miles an hour. We've seen several of these relief pitchers that are throwing harder than ever, reaching their maximum effort here in the postseason. Hader has thrown his fastest pitches over his last couple of games. Oberg reaching back for everything he has, and maybe setting up a slider here.
The 2-2 from Oberg. Kane strikes out. With runners on first and third, 3 consecutive strikeouts. Kratz, Scope, and Kane. We head to the 8th. Back to Milwaukee Hour, Indeed.com player resume. Well, he did play 15 seasons in the majors, teammate of Tony Gwynn and home plate umpire Kerwin Danley at San Diego State, teammate of David Cohn in KC, National League Manager of the Year 2010, and a 2-time World Series champion as a pitcher with the Royals in '85 and then as the pitching coach with the Angels in 2002. Bud Black and his Rockies in search of a run. They scored exactly 2 in each of their last 3 games. No runs on 4 hits through 7 innings. This is Jeremy Jeffress, who allowed the 2 runs the Rockies scored to tie the game in the 9th inning yesterday in game 1.
It's the first time all year that he gave up 3 hits in 1 outing.
3 consecutive base hits yesterday. LeMahieu leading off. Ground ball to the second baseman Shaw. 1 away. So now Arenado steps in and we check in with JP.
Well, Kenny, Jeffress was not available to pitch Monday at Wrigley Field for an undisclosed health reason, but he said after yesterday's game he felt very well rested and indeed is available to pitch apparently multiple outs today.
Thanks, JP. Saved 15 games for the Brewers during the regular season. Arenado has struck out twice in his last 2 plate appearances. 3rd inning with 2 on, and then in the 5th inning with a runner on first and 2 outs.
To add to JP's point, this is the old standard possibility of a 6-out save. You almost never see this in the regular season, but postseason, anything is a viable option. 6-out saves, 5-out saves, whatever it takes to get 5 more outs for the Brewers and not allow the Rockies to score 1 run.
Brewers have already used Knebel, Soria, Heater out of the pen. Their starter, Chacin, went 5 scoreless innings. Strike 2 to Arenado. The 1-2 from Jeffress. And a base hit into left field past the diving Moustakas. Second hit of the game for Arenado. Rockies have a one-out base runner here in the 8th.
See the splitter, that's the pitch that's kind of separated him this year, trying to go down and in. Arenado fighting for his life, cuts it off, finds the hole.
He was a little relieved, to say the least. Frustrated the last 2 at-bats. And yeah, finally snuck one through. He's got 2 hits today, but still no damage and no power out of this Rockies lineup.
So here's Carlos Gonzalez with a runner on first, 1 out. His manager Bud Black telling us before the game he's still dangerous, still a presence at the plate. Now in his 11th major league season. Only Todd Helton has played more games in a Rockies uniform than Carlos Gonzalez. Arenado, the runner on first. 1 out, top of the 8th inning. Brewers lead by a run. Gonzalez with a line drive. That's caught by Moustakas, 2 away.
Laser beam off the bat of Cargo right at Moustakas. Thinks about going to first. Arenado does great base running, but Cargo frustrated, like many of the Rockies. Can't believe he hit the ball right at him. Didn't even have to move. Great base running by Arenado to get back and not get doubled up.
There's only one guy on the left side of the infield, and he found him.
Trevor Story 0 for 7 in the series. Now 3 infielders on the left side of second base. Talk about the frustrations. Rockies are now batting 150 in this series. 9 hits in 60 at bats, and they've scored only 2 runs. Arenado, the runner on first. As Story takes strike 1.
And you're saying only 9 hits, but only 1 extra base hit that I can remember off the top of my head. The triple from Carlos Gonzalez with 2 outs. So no damage at all from this. What's supposed to be a potent Rockies offense has done absolutely no damage and no explosive plays, as they like to talk about in football. Nothing to get their team excited.
1 for 11 with runners in scoring position the last 2 days. 2-1.
Kratz's reaction will tell you everything you need to know. He thinks that's a strike, definitely, and he can't believe it.
Jeffers really wanted that pitch.
That ball's just off, though. But has been called tonight on occasion.
The 2-1 from Jeffers. Strike 2. The 2-2. Full count.
Huge pitch in this game. They've had a lot of success against Trevor Story, throwing a breaking ball. So 3-2, lefty on deck. What do you do, Coney? Breaking ball, sinker in, split. Got 3 options right here.
And that's the first time he's really shown some patience and not chased out of the zone.
Two is usually a split.
Payoff pitch. Story strikes out to end the inning. Brewers pitching the story of this series. Middle of the 8th in Milwaukee. S1 is presented by Doosan, official partner of Major League Baseball, and is sponsored by Midas. Trust the Midas touch. And by Miller Lite, great taste at only 96 calories. Harrison Musgrave, third pitcher of the game for Colorado, facing Christian Yelich, who is 0 for 2 with a walk today. Musgrave, 2/3 of an inning in game 1. Yelich was the first batter he faced in the 8th inning yesterday, and he walked him. Dahl has entered the game in right field, double switch. Gonzalez out. Pitcher now batting in the number 4 spot.
Much like yesterday, Christian Yelich led off and got on base every time he led off yesterday. Hits and walks and faced lefties and got on base both times off their left-handed relievers of the Rockies. And here he is with a 3-0 count on Musgrave again.
Yelich started down towards first. It's now 3-1. Looking ahead, Rockies will have Parra, Desmond, and Iannetta, 6, 7, 8 in their batting order, due up in the top of the 9th inning. Leadoff walk, just as Yelich drew from Musgrave, leading off the 8th inning yesterday. Here comes Bud Black. He will make a pitching change, so Musgrave faces only one batter, and he walks Yelich, leading off the inning. By Hankook Tire, the only run of this game, scored in the 4th inning. Back-to-back doubles, Moustakas, and then Perez with a book rule double. Bounced into the bullpen, driving in Moustakas with the game's only run. And now Ryan Braun steps in to face Sung-Hwan Oh, 4th pitcher of the game for Colorado. 73 appearances during the regular season with the Blue Jays and the Rockies. Also pitched the last couple of seasons for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And one of the heroes in the wild card game against the Cubs. He knocked the Cubs out of the playoffs.
O pitched an inning and 2/3 in that game at Wrigley. Did not allow a run. Acquired from Toronto on July 26th. Yelich back in. Leadoff walk to Yelich by Musgrave, the only batter he faced. 1-0 Brewers, looking to take a 2-0 lead in the series. Game 3 of this best-of-5 in Denver on Sunday. Strike one to Ryan Braun, who is 0 for 3 today, 2 for 8 in this series. No runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. 1 run on 6 hits, including 3 doubles for the Brewers today. Milwaukee won yesterday's series opener in 10 innings, 3-2.
Kenny, that's been the difference in the 2 games. The extra base hits. The home run yesterday by Yelich. And then the 2 doubles today off the bat of Moustakas and Perez. Rockies have still 1 extra base hit in almost 2 games. There was a 2-out triple that ended up being meaningless.
The Rockies team, which finished in the top 3 in batting average, runs, hits, home runs during the regular season. Not score over the first 8 innings yesterday, and they have not scored over the first 8 innings today. The 0-1 to Braun, bounce foul back behind third.
And I love those shots we just showed him. The Rockies left side of their infield, shaking their heads down, frustrated, just frustration all over their faces and in their body language because of the lack of offense. People can say, oh, they look flat, they have no energy. It's really hard to have a lot of energy when you're not getting any hits and you're not scoring any runs.
Still just 1 run down here.
To the right side, a base hit into right field. Yelich on his way to third. Runners on the corners following the Braun base hit for the Brewers here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
O's best pitch is a slider, and Braun does a good job of just reaching out, making contact, finding the hole. And Yelich can do it all.
In the 7th inning, the Brewers had runners on first and third with no outs, and then Oberg struck out the side. Same situation here, first and third with O on the mound. Aguilar at the plate. He's 0 for 3 and has struck out twice today. Infield in, strike 1.
Tough positioning here for Story and LeMahieu in the middle of the infield. They're kind of halfway. They have to stop Christian Yelich from scoring, but if they stop him, because Aguilar doesn't run that well, they're still talking about the possibility of turning a double play if the ball is hit directly at him.
Yelich, the runner at third, Braun over at first.
And Yelich is going on contact here to keep him out of the double play. Worst case scenario, he gets in a rundown, and hopefully Braun is able to get to third, and Aguilar, who hits it, will be able to get to second. You want to avoid the double play here at all costs.
The 1-1 from O. Aguilar fouls it back, now 1-2. The last 4 Brewers to reach third with less than 2 outs have not scored. David, you talked about the missed opportunities for Milwaukee over the last 2 days. Nice block by Iannetta. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't know if you can call this a block, Kenny. I like the description, but this is almost preservation, self-preservation. Get out there and do anything you can. He didn't block it. He just stuck his glove in a spot. Great job by Iannetta, not allowing the frustration of his offense to go over to his defense. It's been solid all day back there.
And now the 2-2. Foul back to the screen. Moustakas on deck. Nobody out. Bottom of the 8th. The 2-2 from O. Full count.
Oh, a legend in Korean baseball. 36 years old, even though he only has 3 years in the big leagues over here. Got a lot of experience. Some great nicknames, too. The Final Boss, the Stone Buddha. Broke in with the Cardinals a couple of years back. Boy, it was dynamite. Kind of revived himself this year. Done a great job for the Rockies.
The payoff pitch misses high and inside. Ball 4 from the Final Boss to Aguilar. The bases are loaded with no outs.
And I know it's easy to second guess pitch calling sitting up here in the booth, but a 3-2 slow curveball with a lefty Moustakas who won the game for him yesterday on deck and no outs. His best pitch is a slider. So it's surprising that he almost went with an eephus kind of 69-mile-an-hour curveball instead of his best pitch, which is the hard slider, or even trying to run a fastball up. Surprising pitch calling. I understand that they know O better than I do, but just interesting pitch decision there. And he shook to get to that pitch.
So here's Moustakas with the bases loaded, infield in. Strike 1. Bottom of the 10th in game 1 yesterday. Moustakas with the walk-off. Yelich scores. Brewers take game 1. On an 0-2 count, first walk-off hit in the postseason since. AJ, you were there, a part of it.
And Bud Black and I discussed that play today. He asked me about that game with Kelvin Escobar when he threw that pitch that clearly bounced in the dirt, and I stole first, and Joe Creedy drove Pablo Ozuna, the pinch runner, in from second to win the game, and the White Sox didn't lose again in that postseason.
Pinch runner Arcia for Aguilar. He's at first base with the bases loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Moustakas. Yelich, Braun, Arcia. Ball 2. Moustakas doubled in the 4th inning. Scored the game's only run to this point. Base hit right field. Yelich scores. Holding at third is Braun. An RBI for Moustakas. Brewers lead 2-0.
Moustakas is becoming clutch. Another fastball right there just cuts him off. Infield in. Hard hit balls get by that much quicker as the Moose chants here get louder.
Here's Perez, who has doubled twice. The Brewers have now scored 5 runs in the series. Moustakas has been involved in 3. He's driven in 2 and he's scored a run.
I don't think there's anybody With all the postseason experience that Moustakas has with the Royals, winning a World Series, losing a World Series, didn't panic. There's nobody that went up in those situations, except for Mike Moustakas. He's come through twice now. Yesterday, huge walk-off hit, and today, another one. Trying to pump up his teammates. Let's go, let's go. And the way the Rockies' offense has been these first 2 games, if they get any more than 2, it seems like it's insurmountable for the Rockies.
Perez with a pair of doubles today. So 4 batters have come to the plate this inning for the Brewers. They have all reached base. Musgrave walked Yelich. Musgrave then replaced by O. Braun single. A walk to Aguilar, and then Moustakas with the run-scoring base hit. One ball, 2 strike count. Bases loaded, no outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. Infield in. Chris Russin up in the Colorado pen, pitched an inning and a third yesterday. The 1-2, Perez down on strikes for the first out of the inning. So now Travis Shaw, who has 2 hits today. Iannetta out to the mound. 1 run in this 8th inning for the Milwaukee Brewers, who have taken a 2-0 lead as O tries to get out with no further damage.
Now you get into a situation where you can move the infield back a little bit, go for the ground ball. Double play will get you out of it, as we see Bud Black's coming out to the mound and probably going to make a change right here.
So he will go to the left-hander, Russin, as O exits, with the Brewers now leading the Rockies 2-0, 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning. Fast One is presented by Doosan, official partner of Major League Baseball, and is sponsored by Hankook Tire. Chase down your passion, never halfway. And by Miller Lite, great taste, only 96 calories. 2-0 Brewers, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning as Bud Black goes to his bullpen once again. Russin will be the 3rd pitcher in this 8th inning for Colorado.
And this isn't a move in the regular season you'd see an awful lot. Down 2-0, bases loaded. This is to save their season. They're trying to save not only this game, but also they know they need to get a split here. They feel like they should get a split here. So this is a move Buddy Black is making. Try to hold them at 2, get Shaw out with the lefty, and give his offense a chance, even though it looks bleak for the Rockies. We thought that yesterday, and they scored 2 in the 9th to at least tie it up.
So if the base is loaded, it's Russin to face Shaw. Travis Shaw's dad, Jeff, is here in Milwaukee. He ran into Bud Black yesterday. They were teammates in Cleveland back in 1990. Jeff Shaw and Bud Black, the Rockies skipper. Russin went an inning and a third in yesterday's game. Did not allow a run on 1 base hit. Shaw at the plate with the bases full. Braun, Arcia, Moustakas, the base runners. 1 run in here in the 8th for the Brewers. The 2-1 from Russin. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yelich scored the second Milwaukee run earlier this inning. Brewers had a 2-0 lead after 8 in game 1. They lead 2-0 in the 8th here in game 2. The 2-2 from Russin. A called strike 3. Shaw down on strikes, 2 away.
Bud Black was thinking more ground ball than strikeout, but
quick pitch. He quick pitched him. Slider locked up Shaw, but he quick pitched him. I don't understand as a hitter how that's not a balk. You're not supposed to be able to change your motion to affect base runners, but you can change your motion to affect hitters. And Shaw's going back in the dugout saying, "Man, he quick pitched me on that. He's had a slower, higher leg kick, and then all of a sudden, with 2 strikes, he goes with this one." And it just completely throws you off as a hitter. I just don't understand. I know the rules are the rules, but how is that not a balk? Or something, it's cheating.
David?
well, the balks are for base runners, not for hitters.
Still cheating.
So now Kratz with 2 away. Now this is interesting. Jeffress is due up next. So should Kratz reach base, that would mean the Brewers would score at least a 3rd run. Broxton has come out into the on-deck circle. And that is Guerra up in the Milwaukee pen.
Take the runs if you could get them, and trust your bullpen.
That could also be a decoy. Broxton could be a decoy. You have to have someone up to make the decoy work. If there was an open base, you could almost guarantee that Bud Black would walk Kratz here automatically to see what they were going to do. But with the bases loaded, they don't have that option.
You saw Jeffress in the dugout. Kratz with a bloop, base hit into left field. Braun scores. Here comes Arcia. It is now 4-0 Milwaukee as Kratz drives in 2.
Somebody had to be a hero. Someone had to get a big hit, and it's Erik Kratz. Broken bat goes down to hero. See the emotion on his face. Ed Cedar, after he waves home the 2nd run, he puts his fist up in the air. Big hit for the Rockies, and now we get to see Jeffers hit. And more frustration for Nolan Arenado and the Rockies team in general.
Jeffress batting for the first time this season. Only the 3rd at bat of his 9-year major league career. He will pitch the 9th. Brewers score 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Lead game 2, 4-0. On FS1, presented by Doosan. We head to the 9th. The Brewers have opened up a 4-run lead on the Rockies with 3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Colorado shut out through the first 8 innings for the 2nd straight day. They have only 5 base hits, all singles. So Jeffress will pitch the 9th for Milwaukee. Arcia remains in the game at shortstop. Perez moves to 2nd, and Shaw moves over to 1st. Parra leads off for Colorado. Rockies have never been shut out in a postseason game. This is the 23rd postseason game in their history.
Interesting decision to let Jeffress hit. Really long inning, multiple pitching changes for the Rockies on defense. Going for a 6-out save. He has 2 career 6-out saves, but the adrenaline as a pitcher, as you know, David, goes up and down. And when you get that long wait and then he got an at bat, sometimes it leads to some problems. We'll see.
"15 saves during the regular season for Jeffress. Looking to close out game 2. After he allowed the 2 runs in the 9th inning to tie the game yesterday and send game 1 into extra innings. Pitching with a 4-run lead here today. His battery mate Eric Kratz with a huge 2-out, 2-run single in the bottom of the 8th. Parra with a base hit into right field. It was Parra who started the rally off Jeffress in the 9th inning yesterday with a leadoff single.
And the ability of the Brewers to add on 3 in the bottom of the 8th looms large right here and gives Jeffress the cushion he so dearly needs right now.
Ian Desmond at the plate. Ryan McMahon in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Iannetta. Great job by our entire crew today here in Milwaukee, led by producer Aaron Stoikov, director Jim Lynch, our associate director Jordan Harrison, broadcast associate Sam Younger, technical producer Patrick Karayan, technical director George Mikla. Ben Bulmer crunching the numbers here in the broadcast booth. Parra the runner on first. Desmond takes a called strike. 1-1.
If you're the Rockies here, you're just looking to get the tying run up to the plate somehow. You need another base runner. Try to turn over the lineup. Last pitching change, you did a double switch, so you got Dahl batting in the 9-hole with some pop in his bat. So that's what you're looking at on the Rocky side. Just give us a chance.
So after Desmond, pinch hitter McMahon, then Dahl, then the top of the order. Runner on first, Parra. 2-1 from Jeffress. Capturing the inside corner, strike 2.
Ian Desmond obviously thought this ball was off the plate inside. Good job by Kratz to finesse it back in. A splitter from Jeffress right there.
Call strike 3. Desmond down on strikes, 1 away. Time now for our Budweiser game summary. In each of their last 3 games, the Rockies held to 2 runs. Only 4 hits yesterday. Today, 6 for 31 at the plate. 8 strikeouts, a combined 178 batting average. Of course, Tuesday was the wild card game. They beat the Cubs in 13 innings to advance to the National League Division Series, but Bud Black searching for some offense.
Where can he turn? We talked to him about that before the game. Where does he go? He doesn't have a lot of options. A lot of young guys. One thing they have going for them, if they don't pull this game out somehow, some way, they get to go home back to Coors Field, where we all know the Rockies love to play and they love to hit. And they have their 2 guys, Marquez and Freeland, starting 3 and 4 for them.
4 if necessary if the Brewers win this one. Ryan McMahon pinch hitting. Drew a walk as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning yesterday. Leadoff single off the bat of Parra. Then Jeffers struck out Desmond. Desmond on the move. Swing and a miss by McMahon. As Desmond will now head back to first. McMahon got a piece of it. Excuse me, it's Parra, of course, back to first base. So now, 1 ball, 2 strike count. There goes Parra. McMahon strikes out. Now 2 away.
Jeffers, a 3-pitch pitcher, is a closer, very devastating, all high quality, high velocity, a really good breaking ball and a splitter. And you can see here, this is the breaking ball. Tight, backied up, almost front dooring it as Desmond is locked up. And then down and in, the back leg slider. McMahon over the top. Kratz, a good job smothering it.
Rockies down to their final out. Dahl at the plate. Ball 1. The 1-0 from Jeffers. In for a strike. For those of you tuning in for the UFC 229 weigh-in, it's available on FS2 and streaming live on the Fox Sports app. Ground ball to the second baseman, Perez. The Brewers take a 2-0 lead. In the National League Division Series, Rockies have been shut out for the first time in the postseason. It's only the Brewers' second postseason shutout. The first Game 1 of the '82 World Series. Brewers win it 4-0. Now to Kevin Burkhardt in our studio. Kevin, take it away.